President's lawsuit is accusing President Obama, as Mike just noted, of executive overreach. Why can't the president work with Republicans? Republican Senator Rand Paul finding a way to reach across the aisle to get things done. We spoke with him. Nice to see you.
Great to be with you, Greta.
Before we get to you reaching across the aisle with Senator Cory Booker, a Democrat, I want to ask you about the president's power grab. Why is it that he seems to have trouble reaching across the aisle? Is it the Republicans are just so dead set against him, or is he not showing leadership? What is it?
I called him this week and said, I'd like your help on both criminal justice issues that I'm working on with Senator Booker, but I also asked him on repatriation, letting foreign money come home or American money that's earned overseas come home at a lower rate so we could pay for our roads and bridges. And I said, we could do it if you would help me, if you would call some of the leading Democrats on the side, if you'll call them and say, you know what, I want to have my legacy be that I paid for the roads and bridges and I didn't borrow the money, we could do something together. And I didn't get a firm answer, but my encouragement to him was, come to Capitol Hill, talk to the Senate leading Democrats and Republicans, and let's figure out a way to move forward. There are issues that we could pass, but it would take him coming and sitting down with Senator Reid and saying, I'm tired of just not having any votes. Republicans, if you'll go forward, let's move forward and get something done. But it would take a force of character to get something done in Washington, because we're really at an impasse.
All right, you and Senator Cory Booker, who is a Democrat, you're a Republican, are working together, teamed up on something. What?
One of the biggest things I hear from people about getting employment again, one of the biggest impediments to getting employment is having a criminal record. And a lot of people have got a criminal record for nonviolent crimes and for drug crimes and things they did when they were kids and frankly were mistakes. But we should have a second chance where you get to go back to work. And what we're doing is trying to let people expunge their records. So if you grew marijuana plants 30 years ago when you were in college, you should get to vote again, and you also should get your criminal record sealed so you don't have to show it to every employer for nonviolent crime.
Well, you and I talked about this. There used to be the Federal Youth Corrections Act when I was a criminal defense lawyer, and it was passed in 1950, and it was repealed in 1984, which allowed you to make that so-called mistake, do your time, and then have it expunged. But then politicians thought, oh, we got to be hard on these people, and that was revoked.
Well, and I think what happens a lot of times in Washington, we all get emotional. We say we must do something, but then we overdo it. A good example is this young boy. He's like 18 years old. He's been all over the news. He's going to be sentenced to life in prison for selling pot brownies because they're weighing. The way we structure the law, we allow the whole weight of the brownie versus the weight of the drug that was in the brownie. So he's facing life in prison, and you're like, oh, well, certainly nobody will let that happen. But this is the craziness that's gotten into the war on drugs.
Indeed it has. Well, I love the fact that you're working across the aisle with Senator Cory Booker. Good for both of you. And I like the idea of second chances, so I like that as well. So I hope the president takes you up on your offer to work with you. Thank you. And we have some news.